So this is going to be a very quick video, or at least it should be. You'll notice now that we have our force field all set up and ready to go, but there's just a couple of issues. First off, you can't see the thing from the inside. Secondly, when bots are destroyed by the force field, they don't respawn. That's what we're going to be fixing in this video. So to start with, go to third person BP, blueprints, I'm sorry, not third person, go to first person BP, blueprints, and double click on force field to open it. First things first, let's fix the bug where bots don't respawn if destroyed by the force field. This won't be very difficult. All we have to do is come here to the end of actor begin overlap, and then after die, we're going to drag off of the white arrow here and type cast to first person game mode right there. We'll drag off of object and type get game mode. And there we go. Now we have a reference to our game mode. We have a reference to our game mode as a first person game mode, which gives us access to the variables that we're using in there. So we'll drag off of as first person game mode, type get bots remaining, drag off of the green and type --, click decrement int, and connect white to white. If I compile and save that, you should see now that when the bots are destroyed by the force field, they continue to respawn. So that's one bug down, but now we still can't see the force field from the inside. So it can still be difficult to know whether or not we are actually inside the force field. Go into your first person BP folder, but this time don't go into blueprints. Instead, right click and make a new folder called materials. So we'll go into the materials folder here. We'll right click and add a new material. We will call this material M_force field. M because it's a material, and force field because that's what it's going on. Double click it to open it, and you should see this. A whole bunch of dots that we're gonna basically ignore for now. We need to come over here to blend mode and change opaque to translucent. And you'll notice some of the grayed out dots are not grayed out anymore, and some that weren't grayed out before are grayed out now. This is fine. This is supposed to happen because we're only going to be using 2 dots anyway. This top one here, base color, and this third not grayed out dot, opacity. Base color is the color of your material, and opacity is how see-through it is. Opacity can go anywhere from 0 to 1, with 1 being completely opaque, that being the opposite of transparent, 0 being so transparent it's actually invisible. So we also want to bring in a constant 3 vector, which we want to right click and convert to a parameter. We'll name this parameter color. What did I do? We will name this parameter color, capital COLOR. You'll want to spell it exactly like that. There's a reason for this that we'll talk about in the next video, but just know it needs to be spelled exactly like this. Capital C, lowercase l. The reason it needs to be spelled exactly like this, you won't find out in this video. You'll find out in the next video. we'll name this parameter color, capital C, lowercase OLOR. There is a reason that I emphasize that spelling that will become apparent in the next video. Just know it needs to be spelled exactly like that. Capital C, lowercase OLOR. So what are these 5 dots here? Unreal Engine creates colors using the RGB system, which, if you're not familiar with it, you probably learned in 2nd grade art class that the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. And we get all our other colors by mixing the red, the yellow, and the blue. This is what's known as the RYB system. In the RGB system, yellow gets replaced with green. So our primary colors are red, green, and blue. Hence the name RGB. Your red, green, and blue values all get set to a number somewhere between 0 and 1. So if your red is 1, that means your color is going to be as red as it can possibly be. If your red is 0, that means there will be no red whatsoever in your color. And of course, you can get varying shades by mixing your colors. You know, red plus blue equals purple, red plus green equals yellow, lots of red plus a little bit of green equals orange, green plus blue equals cyan. And mixing all 3 of them will get you white. Mixing none of them, having all 3 of them set to 0, will get you black, which is what we have now. We'll be changing this in a moment though. So what do these 5 dots do here? This red dot will grab only the red amount from your color. This green dot will grab only the green amount, and this blue dot will grab only the blue amount. So if I change my values here to 1, 0.5, and 0.25, grabbing the red will give me the number 1. Grabbing the green will give me the number 0.5. Grabbing the blue will give me the number 0.25. I'll set those back to default because we will be changing them later. So this white dot here at the top grabs your actual color, which will show up here and also here. And I don't mean that this white dot will change based on what your color is. That's what this big black square does if you hit apply after changing the color. The white dot stays white, but this is your color. This is where your color sits. This is how you grab your color from the block. So what we're going to do, since this top white dot is our color and base color is our color, we're going to connect those two. This gray dot down here is for our alpha value. The alpha value is a measure of how see-through it is. It's a number that can go from 0 to 1, with 1 being completely opaque, 0 being completely invisible, and something in between being see-through. If you notice, that's exactly the same description I gave for opacity. So we're going to connect this gray dot here at the bottom, the alpha dot, we're going to connect that to opacity. Now as for our actual color, what we're going to do is we're going to set the color to R0, G is 0, B is 1, and A is 0.4. You will understand why we're using this specific color in the next video. The next thing we want to do here is click on this big block right here and check two-sided. The reason we want to do that is if we were to put this material onto the force field without checking two-sided, then the force field would be blue on the outside, but it would still be invisible from the inside. Checking two-sided allows the material to be shown on both sides of the force field. So now we want to click apply, which is basically the same thing as compile except for materials. And then once that finishes, we want to go back to BP force field, click the sphere, and change its material to M_force field. Click compile, save, and your computer may take a while to update some shaders. Mine didn't. So if I hit play, now I can see the force field from the inside. There is, however, one more bug that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video. And that's the fact that our shield technically has infinite health right now. It can't actually be destroyed. So let's fix that. At the end of active begin overlap again. At the end of active begin overlap, way at the end after minus minus, where we are reducing the bot's remaining variable, we want to drag off of this arrow here and type if and click branch. We're going to be checking now to see, does our shield have any more health left? So we want to drag in health, click get, drag off of health, type less than, so that's shift comma, click integer less than equals integer, and make sure that bottom number is set to 0, and connect red to red. And this now is checking to see, have we run out of health? If our health is less than or equal to 0, the answer is yes, we've run out of health. So so the game's logic will continue this way. If we haven't, then it'll continue this way. We don't really need to do anything if we haven't run out of health. So we're going to leave this side blank. But this side, we want to drag off and just type destroy actor and leave the target as self. So I'm going to change my health to 20 just to demonstrate this very quickly. And you can see here that when my shield takes enough damage, it gets destroyed now. If you're wondering about this max health variable, don't worry about it. That's something for the next video. I just forgot to delete it before recording this video. So if you don't have it, don't worry about it. We'll be creating it in the next video. Speaking of which, what will we be doing in the next video? Well, you can see here, even though my shield can be damaged, it can be destroyed, but I can't tell how close it is to being destroyed. So in the next video, we're going to set up our force field to change colors as it takes damage. It'll go from blue to purple to red, and then it will break.